It's affected the climate, it's affected the wildlife, it's affected our health, it's affected everything. And that's why farmers are going broke.
The soil is alive and we need to take care of all of our relatives.
So I think if I could speak on behalf of consumers, we want more nutrient-dense food. America needs you. Your community is stronger now because of you.
God didn't make mistakes. Why we keep trying to improve on it?
There you go. What would nature do?
What would nature do?
It's time to meet the new pioneers transforming farming and food. These extraordinary women and men are revitalizing the soil, restoring the environment, and protecting wildlife, essential elements of Mother Nature. Prepare to be surprised as we discover one of the most crucial movements dedicated to making our world a better place. It's time to meet our farm heroes. In this episode, we look at how best to protect and revitalize soil with regenerative agriculture. And then we will see how new farmers are learning to put these ideas into action.
My name is Brittany Beck. My title is Executive Director of CERNA, which is the Center of Excellence for Regenerative Native Agriculture. One of the most impactful events is about to happen. We are about to educate our local community for the first time in a formal fashion on what we're doing within our ag operations and why.
You do not get a farmer off herbicide right away. You do not get them off fertilizer right away. It takes time. These soils are addicted to fertilizer and chemicals. Do you know what happened to Sri Lanka? They wanted to go organic. They quit right away. People went hungry. They didn't understand that their soils were destroyed. You do not switch farmers right away. It is very easy to judge when you don't understand. It's gradual. It's not the farmer's fault. We've taught them this way of agriculture. Please understand. Our universities taught this way. Now there's organic herbicides coming into the market. Yay, it's coming. 4 process: capture sun, biodiversity. Biodiversity runs the small water cycle, which is connected to the big water cycle. This machine is gonna show us, is the water cycle working? And the last one, just as important, no water cycle, no nutrient cycle. 4 things. This is forest, pasture, regenerative farming, the beginning stages. This farm's about 4 or 5 years into it, and this is the majority of our agriculture. And does anybody know what the average infiltration in the United States is on cropland? Anybody? 1.5 inches. That's pretty low. Do you know we've done infiltration rates in the forest? You know what we've had? 50 inches per hour. 50! Good no-till with covers, 20 to 30 inches per hour. Can we handle every rain that would come? Pretty much. Let's see what happened. Let's start off with our forest soil. Infiltration, how much ran off the forest? Very little. Look how clear it is. What does nature do that we do differently in our farms? Covered 24/7. Got diversity. Forests have animals. Prairies have animals. Nature does not farm without animals. It covers the ground 24/7. How about our pasture systems? Pretty good, isn't it? What's the difference between pastures and cropland? Perennial, living root, 24/7. More diversity, more broadleaves. Now, I've seen overgrazed land, everything run off, worse than conventional. We blame the cow. It's not the cow, it's the how. I will tell you, we will not heal the planet without cows, period. The grass and the cow and the herbivore are designed to be together. How did the no-till do? And infiltration, we still had some runoff, didn't we? Remember, this is the early stages.
I think people have the concept that, indigenous people on tribal land, they're doing it the right way. They're still doing it the right way. Is that incorrect? Is that what you're saying? That
Through colonization, there's been educational platforms that's been instilled into our people to take their heritage culture away. And that, one of the biggest things that we were noted for is we were stewards of the land and we were farmers and we provided all of the food and the necessary items in that world our people needed. The soil, that's the homes of the living microorganisms that are within that soil structure. Those are our relatives. The soil is alive, and we need to take care of all of our relatives, from the soil to the plants, to the trees, to the air we breathe, to the animals. In order for us to progress forward in this world today, we have to revert back to some of our old ways and reinstill those.
This is no-till, corn and soybean. How did it do? It infiltrated. That's why I love no-till.
He was a beekeeper for a number of years. He called me up and said, hey, I'm going to return home, and I want to see if I can put some of my hives amongst the tribe's land. It was actually my recommendation that year to put it down in an alfalfa field. You know, I thought it would help with pollination. All of those bees were killed. And that was through a chemical called neonicotinoid, and that is a neonic is what was applied to that crop, which was taken back to the beehives, which in turn killed them all. And it's not just the honeybees, there's native pollinators. You know, and those have to be here in order for us to have a good, healthy place to inhabit. And it was my lack of understanding of what chemicals and what product that we were growing that led into that.
Then the tribe just went down the regenerative agriculture path, using less herbicides, fungicides, and pesticides, no GMO crops. And over the last 8 years, we've noticed it, and especially this year, that the bees are doing very well. Once we grew to a point, we actually opened our online store in 2019. And once we did that, we actually went viral. A tribal member posted what we was doing out here with the regen, the bees. Ever since, it's been good business. And with the regen practices, our bees are really surviving this year.
My name's Keesus Charges at Them Pots, and I'm the lead beekeeper here on the Iowa tribe. Native pollinators were here thousands of years before honeybees. It's all important. They're all important. They all do something. Honeybees are actually some of the most versatile Swiss Army bugs, if you can say it like that. They can get nectar, pollen from anywhere. They go to mushrooms for medicine. They take care of themselves so good that they've lasted this long, and it's kind of just human intervention that's kind of messed them up. One thing I find funny about them is they actually prefer like kind of dirty water when they drink, because they get like the nutrients out of it.
My name is David Sussberg. I'm the lead instructor of regenerative agriculture at the Center of Excellence for Regenerative Native Agriculture, or CERNA. At CERNA, I am teaching as well as co-creating a really innovative curriculum that's really focused on how do we heal the earth, how do we regenerate it. And if we look at like indigenous cultures from around the world, they've been doing it since time was time, bringing the science to traditional ecological knowledge. And if we really look at like everything like an ecosystem and how to really farm to every particular unique ecosystem is through biodiversity and implementing a whole systems approach. So really holistic approach to everything. And really ecology is the study of interrelations, interconnected relationships. And that really is, I feel, like at the heart of many indigenous belief systems. So how can we all work together in the world we live in so that it's more abundant, healthy, and happy, and holy?
So how do we fix the problem? We have too much water vapor. We have too much CO2 in the atmosphere. We need it in the soil with plants. Do you know when the Spaniards came, it was all grassland. You go to the west right now, it is becoming more desert. Do you know how we turn the deserts back? Cows. And we got to move them like buffalo.
This whole effort is a pilot effort to engage with these 140 or so projects across the country that are all doing very innovative technologies in terms of applying various climate smart practices on the land. The work that we're doing is data driven. It's based on science, and there's a large investment in this on behalf of the taxpayers to do this really good work. So what are the benefits and how are they going to end up affecting the end product for the consumer, right?
Right.
It's really great to hear the stories. There's a true common thread across the country in the different projects that I see.
I think as people, we have forgotten how to take care of each other. And that's been really reflective and parallel in how we've forgotten to steward our land and take care of it. And there's hope. There's a lot of people out there that see the impacts of what we've been doing over decades, over the past few decades. And we're seeing those negative effects in our water testing levels and in the nutrient densities or lack thereof in our foods. We can change. It takes each of us, and it's our duty as stewards of this land, as policymakers, as a banker. It doesn't matter what your job title is. It's our responsibility to take care of each other and take care of the land. Take care of it so it can take care of us.
We now take you to Tennessee, where courageous young farmers are taking regenerative agriculture theory and putting it into practice with the help of a mentor.
My name is Caitlin Little.
Great. And Caitlin, where are we right now on your farm?
We call this the trellis bed. I have 3 different kinds of crops in every single hole. So I have birdhouse gourds, green beans, and cucumbers.
My name is Wayne Swanson Jr. New Jersey, they call me Chip or Chipper.
Which do you prefer?
Wayne is fine, Farmer Wayne. I've been working with Tennessee River Place and Tennessee River Place Farms. Yeah, I think it's been 6-7 months. And I came and made a visit, and I couldn't get all the way down the driveway before I fell in love.
For the new farmers, the new ranchers, let's go. It doesn't have to take generations, right?
No, not at all.
Okay.
It will take years.
It'll take years.
Unless you're like, outdoorsy type, mechanical type, you can use some equipment. But if you're not an outdoorsy person, it's gonna take years. But this can turn fast. And if you're smart like the littles, they take information and run with it.
While I was interviewing Wayne, Chef Todd was in the kitchen preparing our afternoon feast.
What we're doing this morning is driving around the farm, checking out all of the spots that Caitlin has on our map of where the farm projects are gonna go.
So this area will be the Monarch Way Station. Right now, it is full of this thick bladed grass is Johnson grass. It's actually invasive. So we're gonna use our cattle to graze this down, and then it'll be tilled and planted with milkweed, zinnias, and all kinds of other flowers. The reason that we want to attract our monarchs and pollinators is because we're actually losing them slowly due to people over manicuring their lawns, over treating with pesticides, just more and more pavement showing up. They're slowly losing their habitat. So we want to give them back a little bit of their habitat. The pollinators and the monarchs are super important because without them, we wouldn't have literally anything green or growing. Nothing can survive or reproduce without bees and butterflies. So maintaining healthy soil and natural native species is super important because the invasives like privet that we have over here. Privet is the enemy, it's everywhere, and its aggressive root system is what's so detrimental.
So how do you handle privet?
It's best to graze it because they graze the whole thing. If you cut it, sometimes and you leave a root, they'll come right back.
My grandmother would always talk to me about why not to step on her marigolds around her herb garden. And as a kid, you don't understand, why is she all them yellow flowers over there? Why don't you get a different color? And then when you start into this work, one day you're sitting there and you're like, oh my goodness. My grandparents were regen farmers in the 70s and 80s.
So I'm Caleb, and right now we're setting up another section of hot wire to move the cows into a new section of grass.
Yep.
So you were surprised at, this looks like fun, and my passion, and then boom, it's hard work. Boom, let's get the numbers together on paper. Let's get the planning in. But what else surprised you?
Waking up early and staying up late. You don't get to quit when it's quitting time, you get to quit when it's done. The chickens have to be let out when the sun comes up, and they have to be lit up at the end of the day. So
And
I don't get to choose that.
You
I
don't
have
get
to be here.
Well, and those are beating hearts that are relying on you.
Yeah.
This isn't just it can wait till tomorrow.
At times, it's frustrating because maybe I want to go out to dinner with my friends and I have to come home and do something. But in the grand scheme of things, I really enjoy it because it's just such a fantastic purpose. And I feel like I'm really doing something good with my day. So it's very rewarding.
The plan to address these invasive species is to use our livestock as employees. We don't want to use glyphosates, we don't want to spend a bunch of money on diesel, and we got a budget. So we can't have our employees spending the whole day cutting this down. We can use our electric fence off sections at a time, and then put our livestock in and let them graze this down to where we can get in and lob it off low, especially the invasives. But when we find a good tree that is a native tree, we'll leave it. But we want our employees that have 4 legs to work for us.
For your consumers or your clients, what do you say to them when, how can you kill an animal that you raised? You raised this cow, you know its name or whatnot. So how do you answer that?
There's a quicker way I answer it is I ask them, do you like to see something suffer? And are you prepared, particularly when I'm going into an arrangement to consult? If you're going to have cows, one of the first things I ask you is, do you have a .22 rifle? And they're like, well, no. I said, well, what's going to happen on a 90-degree day if that cow tried to jump the fence and breaks its leg and gets caught? What are you going to do? You going to club it to death? You going to wait and go to the house and act like you don't hear it? No. We're going to shoot it.
Put it out of its misery.
We're going to put it out. We're going to turn the electricity off. And then we're going to go get knives because you need to see what's inside this thing. And if you got dogs, we're going to cut some stuff up for the dogs, but we're going to get dirty. And that's going to tell me those answers, and how you look me in the eye is going to tell me whether I'm wasting my time or not.
Right.
Because there's somebody that could use this help.
Right. I think that's like the crux of some of the problems with consumers, because they don't want to see that. There's suffering going on. Let's be straight about this. And now I'm going to cry.
Yeah.
But, Will Harris said if you could taste the suffering of the animal from the traditional ways, you probably wouldn't eat it. If you can be worthy of where you're at in the food chain, if you can be worthy of where you are in Mother Nature. So I think the respect for the animal, the connection to Earth, the connection to the planet is missing from most consumers who go into the grocery store, and I get it. They have to grab food for their family and cook it up and never once think about, where did the steak come from? I wonder what that cow ate. I wonder how that cow was put down. So thank you, because this is part of what we're communicating, is making that connection, right? And so that's all part of it, the death, the life, the whole process, the decisions we make.
The reason that we're moving the cows and rotationally grazing them is because if they stay in one area for too long, the grass won't maintain the nutritional value. And there are certain areas that we need them to graze down because we need it cleared or fertilized for other purposes.
Most of us don't respect Mother Nature. We're arrogant to think that we can tame her at our will. If you pay attention, Mother Nature will give you a number. She will say, you can have 25 chickens. The moment you bring 27 in, I'm gonna send somebody to take 2 as a tithe.
Right, to correct it.
Yeah, you can have 25.
Yeah.
You go to 27, we're gonna get them.
So pay attention.
Pay attention.
I think that's what has happened to the food system, that we got so good at centralized, at chemical manipulation, at look what we can do to master nature. We're paying for it now.
Yeah, we are.
We're paying in a big way. And that's why we're doing what we're doing, because the system is broken. We have to build a new one. And the new one is based on everything that you learned from your germ.
Yes.
Right? And everything you observed for yourself. we see in you is the future of agriculture, the future of people who care, the future of people who know their animals, care about where they're going, how they're raised, and ultimately we benefit. This meal tasted great. We know it's good for us. Is that a little bit of a difference when you're eating these meals and it feels good to the body and you know you're nourishing yourself, right? So America needs you. So you might not even have thought that when you're going through the process. America needs me. I'm gonna step up and become a farmer. But you know what? That's exactly what you have done. We need this kind of community. Your community is stronger now because of you. And I always get to the point where I'm gonna cry. So thank you so much for what you're doing. And to Wayne Swanson, what you're doing, sharing your love, your compassion, your knowledge, your experience with this family, with your other farmers, helping to get their vision to actually come to life. A lot of people have vision, but it doesn't align with what they know and the business side. And that's what you're doing, right? You're building that army of the new agriculture in America. So for this episode in Chattanooga, Tennessee, let's raise our glasses to our heroes, the little family, and to Wayne Swanson. Cheers. Thank you all.